He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to another story time. And welcome to a drive to Tallahassee. Hold on. In there. Yeah. And welcome to a drive to Tallahassee. Ciao. This story time and the next couple of story times are gonna all kind of mesh together and it all kind of makes sense. To kind of correlize, coordinate together, so to speak. It's not really a series, but it kind of flows with like the flow, so to speak, if it makes sense. So anyway, at this point in time, my car that my mom had bought me while I was in high school. When my mom bought my car was brand new off the lot, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was a junior at the time. I think it was a junior at the time. And it was a Hyundai Accent. So at this point in time, my Hyundai Accent, something had went wrong with it. And I don't remember what it was. I know it was an expensive part. I think the part was like $500, but it might have been more than that. I think the part was like $700. I know it was close to like $1,000. And she was like, either you want to get the car fixed or you want to get another car. And at this point in time, I had already had Ty, and Ty's car seat and like the things getting Ty in and out of the Hyundai Accent was a struggle for me because the Hyundai Accent was like compact mini. And so I told her I wanted a bigger car. And at this point in time, she's still dating Trucker. Like, I don't know like the extent of their relationship because I'm no longer there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how intense the relationship was, but I do remember like he was still around or whatever. Because he had made the comment, because we were on like all like, I won't say three-way. I think he was still at the house, and so we had like multiple phones, of course. So he was able to listen into the conversation, and so she was giving me an opportunity to choose. She was like, "Do you want, basically, do you want to, get the car fixed?" And at this point in time, the car was already paid off, and she was like, "The car is paid off. You wouldn't have to worry about a car payment or nothing." She was like, "Because if she had paid off the car, she was like, if you get another car, you'll be responsible for the car payment." Young, not even thinking. Like, the car was paid off, and basically she was like, "I'll get the car fixed, and then after that, you'll just be responsible for the insurance." Only thing I was thinking about at the time was, it's hard for me to get Ty in and out this car because at this point in time, Ty was still like young or whatever. Like, he wasn't walking and talking or whatever. He was still kind of young. And so it was like, it's hard for me to like get him out. Like, his car seat was big, so I had to maneuver and duck him in and out of the car seat, stuff like that. So it was like, I was like, I want a bigger car, which it was like, I wanted, like a sedan or whatever. And so, and then I wanted things that was electric, because at this point in time, like, cars are, what's the word? Evolving. So electric stuff was the thing. Like, the key fob had started coming into place. My car did not have a key fob. I had to go to my car, unlock it, and then go and unlock, like, go around to each door and unlock it. There was nothing in my car electric at all. My windows, I had to wind my windows down. Like, my car was literally compact Hyundai Accent. Get me where I needed to go. My car was green. I absolutely loved my car after my granddaddy had taught me a lesson of the people teasing me about my car. So, and this is when Hyundai had first started coming out. So like, all the comedians and everybody was joking on Hyundai, because if you had a Hyundai Accent, like, at that point in time, you wouldn't be caught dead in a Hyundai Accent, child. Like, there's no way, which was crazy. But I understood now, looking back, now that I'm older, it's like black people are used because, number one, we make anything and everything look good. We know how to promote stuff. We know how to push stuff. Like, we are very name brand heavy. Well, we really aren't the only ones name brand heavy, but we just know how to promote stuff. And we know how to move stuff when it comes down to it. Like iPhone, like, the whole time everybody is, "Oh, you got an Android, you beneath them," the whole time. iPhones are made with Android parts. Like every time I hear somebody say something about an Android, I'll be like, you can definitely tell y'all don't know y'all phone is made with Android parts. Y'all don't know anything about tech. Y'all just know name brand. Cause I have an Apple. I have an Apple the whole time. Y'all phone is made with Android parts. Anyway, and y'all are behind. Like the little bells and whistles that y'all getting now, we've had for years. It's like there's the only thing that y'all paying for is literally the name, and y'all hype it up because that's what y'all are used for, basically, to promote. Uh-huh. So yeah. So anyway. So yeah, so at this point in time, it was like, dang, like my car don't have none of that in there, and I want some electric stuff. I want a key fob. I want, you know what I'm saying? I want a bigger car. I'm tired of moving the kid in and out of the car, not thinking at this point in time because she was literally laying it out there, like you won't have a car payment. The only thing you'll have is car insurance. Like, you know, I could get the car fixed, but after I get the car fixed, you know, I'm done because I agreed to buy your first car. I bought your car. I paid it off. Now here you go. Like if we go get something else, you're responsible for that. Not even thinking, like not even thinking from the financial side. Like she had laid it down, like literally laid it down. And I remember Trucker saying, I told you she want a new car because I was like, I want a new car. He's like, I told you she want a new car. She don't wanna ride around in the Hyundai no more. She don't know nothing about a paid off car. Like, and I'm literally oblivious and tuning you out because I don't like you anyway. So anything that you say at this point in time, I could care less because I do not like you. I do not like you. You're a monster. You're a snake, and I can't stand you. So I don't care about nothing that you got to say, nothing that you got going on anyway. So it's like I'm mind my business. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tuning you out. And so she was like, well, okay, well, I'll come up there. And when I come up there, we'll go look for a car. Now, mind you, at this point in time, my mom has, you know, she built herself out of nightmares. I told you I watched my mom twice actually build herself out of debt from two men. My dad and Nightmare. Real talk. I watched her be dragged down to the gutter when it came down with me and her finances. I watched her build herself out of that. And after she built herself out of that, here come Nightmare and drag you down to the gutter in finances and debt and all that stuff. And I watch you build yourself out of that too. And so it's like with me, which is why I was like, I wish my mom was here because there would be so many questions that I would ask her. Because of all the things that she had went through with her men. So it was like, I know it's possible that I can dig myself out of it, which is why I tell people like, please don't be afraid to start over. Because I watched my mama start over more than once and made her way out of it. I really think she was slighted though, because once she made her way out of it and the plans that she had to basically like retire and enjoy life, she didn't get that chance to. She ended up getting sick. So yeah, so it was like she was like, once I come up there, we gonna go and look for a car. Now, mind you, at this point in time, my mama again had built herself out of financial, you know, turmoil, and so my mama did not like used cars. She did not like used cars. My mama, if you gonna get a car, get something brand new, because she had her fill with used cars, and so she was like, if you gonna get something brand new. That way, you don't take on nobody else's problems. You get something brand new. If you gonna pay for something brand new. And she was like, the only reason you saw me get used cars was because at that point in time, like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford it. I had to get something in my budget. And so I was like, well, I don't mind getting something in my budget, you know, so I don't mind getting something used or whatever. And so she was like, at this point, it was like, girl, you not listening. If you gonna get something brand new. You know what I'm saying? And so, but the whole point was, I'm trying to get something in my budget as well, because at this point in time, Ty get a check. So Ty check pays the rent. So my check will be car payment, car insurance, utilities. My apartment is electric, So only thing I have to worry about is grocery and all that stuff. It's just me and Ty. So I would have a plan, especially after I get my taxes. And then whenever one of the leaders would pay child support, 'cause at this point in time he's paying it under the table. So but it wasn't dependable. It was more of control. If you do what I like you to, you know what I'm saying? If you act how I want you to act, then I will pay child support. If not, then I'm withholding the money, basically. And so, yeah, so it was more like that type of situation. So in my head, I was still budgeting in the maybe if child support situation from him, and I had already, like write up my bills, and I knew my budget, I knew my budget of what I wanted to do once I got paid every 2 weeks. Like I said, and y'all will still say, I wish every job paid you weekly, because it's like, baby, like, why am I struggling? Give me my money. Give me my money. I already work. Give me my money. So anyway, so yeah, so it was like I already knew, had my budget in mind, and I was like, no, I need a bigger car. And so when she got there, and so she was like, do you really not, like, you don't want to wait? He gonna grow. He gonna outgrow this, and so he gonna be in a boost, and you ain't got to worry about it. She was like, you're not gonna have a car payment. You're just gonna have car insurance. And so she had wrote it down and put it out on paper, but when I want what I want, I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you, and it's not making sense. So it's like, I want a bigger car. Like, I want a bigger car. And I was over the exit. I was not thinking. And I made that mistake again twice. Like, take the pay. If you pay this off, if you do this, you just have a paid off car. Anyway. And I was like, I just want a bigger car. I just want a bigger car. And so she was like, okay. So that next morning, like it was a car dealership, like literally right up the street. Like it wasn't too far. And I was like, it's a car dealership right there. We ain't gotta go find this one right there. And we could go look in there. I had no idea what the car dealership had. We could just go look. So we went and we started looking. And so this car dealership had a Saturn. And at this point in time, they Saturn commercials, I don't know if y'all remember, but they used to make Saturn commercials, and the Saturn commercials, when you bought a Saturn car, like they would show the people coming to the front and clapping. Now, mind you, in my mind, I'm not thinking like that's only at the Saturn dealership. I'm thinking like, oh, they gonna come clap for me when I get this car. So I looked at the car, and the car wasn't a bad price. It wasn't a bad price. But when I got on the inside, it was nice, and it had all of these bells and whistles. So it had a sunroof that I didn't have before. It had the daytime running lamps, which I like, because I'm a little tomboy, so I like, there's certain things I like on my car that mostly males look for and females really not paying attention to. So baby, I love the fog lights and the daytime running lamps. I love that look. You know what I'm saying? When it's foggy in my car, give you a little smize, a little smoky eye. I like that. So it had the daytime running lights. It had the fog lights. And then when you put the car in drive, it did the automatic lock on the doors. Like it had so many bells and whistles on the inside. And I was like, my car did not have all this. And it was nice. It was a peanut butter. It was a peanut butter interior on the inside, like, and the outside was maroon. I'm gonna insert this picture. It looked like this. I really thought it was called an S2, but I don't remember what it was called. I know it was an S series, but I don't remember the actual name of the car. So anyway, I was like, I like this. This is in my budget. It got like all this stuff going on. And so my mom was like, why don't we just go to another dealership and let's go look at a new car? She was like, Hondas are dependable. Let's go look at a Honda. Me not thinking like, girl, we could go look at a Honda, and Honda could have bells and whistles in it too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's brand new. My mom was very adamant about getting something brand new. And so I was like, no, but I like this one. I like this one. And so it was like that even when I got my first car. She was like, okay, it cleared over here because the first place we went was Honda. She was like, we could go anywhere. Let's go look around. Let's just go ahead and get this one. Not listening, like looking back now, it's like, girl. But I also understand when it comes down to like kids don't listen. Even yesterday when me and Ty was talking, he came by and he was saying like, I just wish like they had a class where they would they can show you like how working and labor takes a toll on your body, and we really don't realize how much our parents go through. And I was like, you don't need a class. Your parents already told you. And so y'all just don't listen. He was like, yeah, you're right. And it's not just their generation. It seems like it's been generation to generation to generation to generation. Like real talk. It seems like the more convenient things got, the more it's like, I'm gonna tune you out because you don't know what you're talking about. Cause that's literally my mom was like the first car, she was like, okay, went through here. We don't have to stop here. We can go look somewhere else. Well, I could have had bells and whistles and, you know what I'm saying? Like not listening. And so she was saying, she was like, Angel. And I was like, but I like this car. And so she was like, you know what? Okay. So she was like, when we gonna go in here, it's gonna be in my name, but you gotta pay a car payment. You need to be sending me this car payment every month. And I was like, okay. And so we would go in, like the car payment was literally in my budget. My car payment was literally like 200, maybe 245. It was in my budget. So when they did like the final car payment, I was like, see, it's in my budget. And it has everything in there. And so she was always like shaking her head because it's like, girl, you not listening. When we could have went and probably got a brand new car in the same range, you probably got the same stuff, but it would have been brand new. And I think the car maybe had like 45,000 miles on it. It wasn't a lot of mileage because there was just certain mileage that she wasn't going over. I know it wasn't a lot of mileage, but she was like, when you get in a used car, you getting people problems. Like it's the reason why the person like traded in the car. And so I was like, it's fine, it's fine. And so when we and I'm trying to sell it because it's like when I take Ty car seat out and I slide Ty car seat in the back, I was like, look, see, like Ty stuffed the room and it's still room with his car seat back here. She was like, like, girl. And so it's like, you're going to have to be responsible for the maintenance and all that stuff, right? So I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Not thinking. So I don't have a problem. Like, I'm going, like, people, oil change, no problem. Car is fine. I love the car. I don't have an issue with the car, right? And so it came down when the car, like it seems like I think that the first issue was like a recall, but like recalls are free. Like they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't charge you like when it's a recall. Like you just go to the dealership, pull up, let them know that you're there for the recall situation, and then they fix and they be like, okay, see you later, right? So it's a recall situation because I always register just in case for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a recall situation. So I was like, "Ooh, mom, like the car got a recall, because the stuff is in her name. So I still have to let her know like what's going on or whatever." And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like the car and the insurance is in her name. She got a better rate. So I was like, it has a recall, so I have to find a Saturn place. And I was like, because nobody can do it around here. And so she's like, you gotta find a Saturn place. I was like, yeah, because there's no Saturn dealerships around here. So the closest Saturn dealership to where I lived at was in Tallahassee. And so she was like, well, how far is that drive? 2 hours. 2 hours. Make sure, because I don't want to lie. But I really think it was like 2 hours. Yeah. So an hour and 31 minutes, an hour and a half, but of course, depending on traffic, 2 hours. So literally, I was like 2 hours. It's like an hour 30 half, 2 hours. And so she was like, oh, okay. Like, what you telling me for? Like, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. I was like, oh. So she's like, I told you were going to be responsible for this car. She was like, which is why I was telling you, like, come on, let's go look around. Because if it was a recall or if it was something brand new, not saying that brand new cars don't have recalls. She's like, but if it was something that was right there local, you didn't have to drive to Tallahassee. You could, just pull up right there at a local one, which is why I was telling you, come on, let's go look somewhere else. And I was like, oh, okay. She was like, so yeah, so you gonna have to make that happen. It's like, okay. Yeah, so because of course they would notify her too. You know what I'm saying? Because her name on the car. And so I was like, okay. So I, at this point in time, it was like, all right, well, let me figure something out and let me make a, make a trip of it. And so I was like, you know what? At this point in time, it don't even matter. Like me and Ty, I would put put Ty in his car seat. We'll get on the road and we'll ride. And so I went to Tallahasse. It was just literally me and Ty. I really don't think Gifted was with me. If Gifted was with me, she might have been. She might have been with me like the first trip. She might have been. Yeah, she might have been with me like the first trip because I remember I think she was because I remember her saying like how she worked there. So she was like, it's really true because I asked her about the commercial because she said she had worked there. And so she was like, no, that's really true. She was like, whenever somebody buys a car, like everybody walks to that person and everybody is clapping that you bought a car. Cause she was like, they're really nice cars. They're just not as popular as, all the other cars, basically. And I was like, oh, okay. So we go, like the nearest one is to Tallahassee, and I was so ecstatic that it was on my right side. Like when it's someplace that I had never been, like I don't really like driving in a bunch of traffic, especially when I don't know where I'm going. Once I done got a feel for it, then I'm bobbing and weaving. But when I'm first going down there, it's like I'm taking my time, paying attention to streets and roads or whatever, stuff like that. So I get there and this black guy walked up to me with glasses. I remember him. He was kind of tall. And so he was like, how can I help you? And I was like, oh, my car, I have a recall. And so he was like, oh, okay. And so he was like, did you buy your car from us? And I was like, oh, no. I said, I bought it in the city that I live in. And I was like, it was used. And he was like, oh. He's like, you should have came to us. You should have came and got a brand new one. And I was like, my mom said the same thing. He was like, yeah, mama's right. You should have bought a new one. He was like, but it's okay. He was like, yeah, we're going to take care of you. He was like, this is my, he need a name? Nah, car salesman. He was like, my name's car salesman. And, he was like, I'm going to take care of you. Every time you come down here, I'm going to be your car salesman. If I'm here, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to handle stuff, right? And I was like, okay. He was like, all right. He was like, so we're going to get stuff done. So he literally he's like, you got the keys. So he took the car, basically took the car, took it around the back, because I don't have to pay nothing. And so when he came back, he was like, this is the snack area, this is where the restrooms is, this is where y'all sit, this is TV. If you need anything, let me know. And so he was like, if you're gonna be here after a certain time, I'll let you know, or I'll come back over and I'll offer lunch or something. He was like, because we don't like our customers to sit here and be uncomfortable. He was like, or if you need a ride to like the mall or whatever, we got a shuttle, we can get you to the mall. And I was like, we're not from here, so yeah. He was like, oh, it don't matter. Whatever you want to do, however you want to do. If you just want to sit here, we just want to make sure like you're comfortable. I was like, okay, customer service. And so she was like, I told you, she was like, customer service for them is like top priority. Like they go above and beyond for their customers. And I was like, oh, okay. So we were sitting there, I would say like an hour and a half. And then he came back. He was like, okay, your car ready to go. And so he gave me his car. He was like, if you had any problems, call me and let me know. And I was like, okay, thank you. So he gave me his car and we left. Like at that point in time, like of course when they saw TJ was well, we called him TJ when he was younger. TJ was a very cute baby. So he of course played with babies, and then he was a boy. You know how y'all are with boys, child. And so he played with Ty for a little bit, and then after that he went on, what I'm saying? Like I left. Me and Gifted drove back home. Thinking nothing of it. So I would say like a week or two later, y'all, the engine light comes on, the check engine light come on. I'm like, what the? Now the car's still running or whatever, but the check engine light come on. And I'm like, oh my God. So at this point in time, AutoZone, they still, they do like put your car on the thing and find out what's going on. So I go to AutoZone and put the car on the thing. It was like, our computers don't even read this. So Saturn cars made sure like all their stuff is exclusive. So the only way I can find out like what's going on, I have to go to Tallahassee. Baby, I don't want to call my mom and tell her, baby, the check engine light came on. The check engine light came on, child. And it's a couple of weeks later after the recall. So I called my mom and I was like, the check engine light came on today. She said, And I was like, She was like, well, take it to AutoZone because again, my granddaddy and my mama has put me on to certain things where it's like you don't. I keep telling y'all like my family, even though my mama has been married, my grandmother has been married, my grandfather has been married, they will all preach. You don't wait on nobody to do nothing for you. You don't wait on a man to do nothing for you. You do it for yourself. So yeah, so it was like they had already told me. So she was like, well, take it to AutoZone and see what AutoZone said. Well, I was like, well, I already did that, and AutoZone can't read it. She's like, what you mean? I was like, AutoZone computers can't read it. Like Saturn has made their car specifically for Saturn, so I have to go to the Saturn dealership and let them read it. Y'all, my mom was bust out laughing like she was at a comedy show. She's on, because it was more like, girl, I told you. I told you. I tried to tell you. I tried to warn you, but no, you don't want to listen. And that's why when I be talking to Ty, I be telling you, I was like, boy, I'm not telling you nothing just because I'm your mama. I'm telling you stuff because of the experience. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made, right? So so she started laughing. I was like, Ma, she's like, I told you. If you was gonna have problems, that way go to someplace else that was local, and that way you could just, pull in. She was like, autos don't could have register. She's like, so it's probably something minor, but if it is something minor, you still have to drive now 2.5 hours or 2 hours to let Saturn check on it. And I was like, yeah. So she was like, well, keep me posted and let me know. She was like, is the cost still running? You able to get back and forth to work? And I was like, yeah, I am. So she was like, well, sooner than later, make an appointment. You don't want to wait until it's not working. Because you don't want it to be told down there. Because she was like, that's gonna cost you a pretty penny. And she is like, at this point, like, I'm telling you, you're responsible for this car. Because I told you I was gonna buy your first car, and once I bought your first car, you was gonna have the car, and you didn't have to worry about a car payment. But now, no, you wanted a car payment, so here you go. You wanted the responsibilities of a car, so here you go. So I was like, dang. So I called car salesman, and I was like, hey, my check engine light come on. And I came on. I was like, y'all don't have I said, y'all don't have like no sister companies. Y'all don't have somebody where I can take my Saturn to, and they can put it on the computer up here, and instead of me driving an hour and a half, 2 hours down there. And he was like, no, you're gonna have to bring it here. And I was like, dang. He was like, yeah, Saturn is exclusive. He was like, we literally make it exclusive for us to do. We don't want like nobody else working on the cars or nothing. He was like, because it's special wiring, and it's a certain way, it's a certain things you have to do things. So we don't want like nobody else messing with the car. So I was like, okay. And so he was like, you want me to make you an appointment? And I was like, let me figure it out. As far as like gas, because like I'm budgeting everything, because that's out of my, what I'm saying, that's not in my budget every other week. So I was like, let me figure it out and I'll let you know. So once I had, paid all my bills, looking at the money that I have, because I'm budgeting like my little money, my little taxes and everything. And I was like, okay. So I called, make an appointment, drove down. And this time it's just me and Ty. Gifted had something else to do. So it's just me and Ty. Me and Ty drive down there. And he's in the back seat or whatever. And so it's like, okay, so me and Ty drive down there, get down there, check in. So he was like, it's the same, routine. If you need anything, if y'all here for a long time, it's lunch, we're gonna put it on there and find out what's going on and see if it's covered under the warranty. Because at this point in time, like, because I'm under the 100,000 miles, it's still under warranty. And so Ty was not Ty, the car salesman was like, I'll be back. So he drove it back, they put it on the machine. And so he was like, oh, it's like this one piece that we need to put on your car that went bad. It's like a certain fuse that only Saturn had. We need to put on your car. And he's like, we're gonna replace that. It's covered under warranty, so you don't really have to worry about nothing. That was the weight off my shoulders. Okay, cool. So I was like, all right. So he did that. They replaced it. I think I sat there for like a good 30, 40 minutes, got back on the road, left. No check engine light, we safe. He's like, all right, cool, see you. You know, hopefully you won't have no more problems. Yeah, because god dang, like I'm tired of seeing you. So this particular time, I would say maybe 2 months later, y'all, the check engine light came on again. Check engine light came on, and then at this point, my car is smoking from under the hood. Oh. So, and this is, I had just like pulled out the get myself like to go to work. And so I backed in my complex. I hadn't left. Like my car had started smoking before I, got on the road and left. So it's still sitting in my complex. And so I backed in somewhere like, the hood is facing out. So whenever I get somebody to come and look at it, they could go straight to the hood. Like I didn't park in, I backed in. And so I was like, I'm not even gonna call my mom. I'm not even gonna call my mama. So I called Ty's, I called Bootlicker and I was like, can you come get Ty and take Ty to daycare? And so he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, my car running hot. Yeah, I was like, it's smoking, my car running hot. So can you come get Ty and take Ty to daycare? So he was like, yeah. So he came, picked up Ty, took Ty to daycare. And so he was like, you want me to come back and take you to work? And he's like, oh, you want to, jump in and let me take you to work now? And now he was like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll come pick you up later. And I was like, yeah, let me do that and then not worry about it. Let me just go ahead and go to work. So, and I'll call my mama while I'm at work. So I, while on the way, to take Ty and while he on the way to take me to work, like he was like, you got anybody to fix your car? Who gonna, look at your car? And I was like, I don't. And I said, but it's a Saturn. And a lot of times people don't, they don't want to touch it because Saturn has certain things to go about it. And he was like, it's probably something simple. And so I was like, oh, hopefully it is. And I was like, at this point in time, I don't want to worry about it. And I was like, because I just drove down there and I just got this stuff fixed. And so he was like, yeah, I do remember you. Like, he's like, you seem like you're taking quite a few trips. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, he dropped Ty off. And then he dropped Ty off. He dropped me off. And I'm at work. And I was like, okay, at some point, I got to call my mama. So I called my mama. And so she was like, hey. And I was like, hey, Ma, I'm kind of let you know, like, this morning, the check engine light came on. I said, when the check engine light came on, the car was smoking. She said, Angel, I told you. And I was like, I know, Ma, but at this point in time, like, I'm in it now. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and I'm telling you, because we've always said, like, communicate, let me know. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and your name is on the car. So I'm letting you know what's going on. I haven't looked, I haven't even dealt with the problem. I said it did it when I was leaving to go out for work. I was like, Bootlicker took Ty to daycare and brought me to work. And I was like, once I figure out what's going on, I'm gonna keep you informed. I was like, I don't, no need to drag it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I see now, I see what you was talking about. It is what it is. I gotta deal with it. I'm in it now. She was like, okay, yeah, well, keep me informed. She was like, but it sounds like you're gonna have to get rid of that car. So at this point in time, it's like, Jesus. Like when I tell y'all, it seemed like every 2 months, if it was every 3 months, that check engine light was coming on. It was something. So Bootlicker was like, I know somebody. I'm gonna have somebody once you get off work, we'll come look at the car. So he had somebody come look at the car, and the dude was like, y'all, as we call like the Shady Tree Mechanics. Not like they shady, but like when we say Shady Tree Mechanics, the mechanics who work under the tree, they usually look for the shade because the sun is too hot. So the Shady Tree Mechanics, not like they throwing shade. And so when the dude came, he was like, oh, you got one of these. You got one of these. He was like, nobody don't really like messing with these because they got excuse me, they got so many twists and turns and electrical stuff, and it's so many fuses, and if you move this can mess with this fuse. It's so many stuff. And so he was like, well, crank it up. And so usually, like, I'm sitting there going like, please do what you did, because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, this man came out here, Bootlicker did me a favor, and you don't do, because you know how it is, y'all. It's like, this is happening, and then when the mechanics show up, the car is just pristine and it's flowing. But it did not do that. It actually did. Like once I cranked it up, the smoke started coming out. He was like, "Oh yeah, you just need this hose right here replaced." He was like, literally, he's like, "You go buy the hose, I'll replace the hose." And so I was like, "Okay, can you take me to go buy the hose?" Luckily, the hose wasn't that big. It was like $40, something like that. Brought the hose back. He replaced the hose. I didn't have to pay him because he did a favor for bootlicker. So I was like, "Ooh, thank you." You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, she got to get my godchild back, back for the daycare and stuff. And we got to make sure it's safe. So car stopped smoking. Thank you. Thank you. So Karma Mama told her like it was the hose. This man replaced the hose. I ain't had to pay him. He did a favor for bootlicker. I just had to buy the part. So she was like, "Okay." And so she was like, "Well, till the next time." And I was like, "Mama, why would you say that?" She was like, "Girl, that sounds like you're going to have problems." You're going to have problems, which is why I told you get a new car. Because when you get a used car, you are taking the risk, you're gambling and taking on somebody else's problems. At this point in time, I'm in it. I'm in it at this point in time. Anyway, so yeah, so the next thing happened. One of my rear bulb lights had went out. It was literally like 3 months later, and so I was like, let me go to AutoZone because I want to get pulled over. Because in this city, baby, the police pull you over for everything. And I was like, I don't want to get pulled over, so I need to change my bulb. And so I was like, AutoZone should be able to do that. Like, you just changing a bulb. Like, you literally just changing a bulb. So took the bulb, bought a bulb, took the bulb to AutoZone, and asked him, like, can you, or did I try to do it first? No. Did it actually? I got the bulb, and when I was coming out of choir rehearsal, and I was like, I should be able to change the bulb. It should be nothing. I could just go in my trunk, pull it down, and put the bulb in. Because you just literally putting positive to negative to positive. Like, you just got to make sure, like, you putting it in there. And so Gifted was like, "Girl," and I was like, "No, for real. That's literally all you doing. You just have to make sure, like, you putting it in there." So took the bulb that wasn't working out, put the new bulb in, bulb working. Boom. No problem. So I'm standing there talking. I was like, "See, girl, see. She was like, "Oh, okay." Y'all, 2.5 minutes later, Gifted was like, "Girl, you smell that?" I was like, "I do. What's that?" And it smelled like something was burning. So we looking around because I was like, "What is that? What is that?" Y'all, we looking at we stand at the back of my car. The back of my car, the brake lights blink and go completely out. All of the lights in the back of my car go out. Walk around to the front is fine. The back, there's no brake lights. There's no nothing. So when I mashed on the brakes, nothing is happening. So that means people behind me, and we're driving in the dark because I'm leaving. I'm in not Bible study choir rehearsal. They're not gonna see that these lights is on. Like, the lights don't work. So if you not paying attention, you can't see me hitting the brakes. I said, "Oh my God." She's like, "Girl, I told you, you should have waited. You should have waited. You should have went to AutoZone." I said, "But you saw, like, the car, like, all I did was take it out, put it in, and it was right." She was like, "Yeah, I told you you should have waited. I told you should have waited. You was gonna have to go to Saturn and let them change it." A light bulb. So I was like, "I'll go to AutoZone tomorrow. Maybe it's something like AutoZone can take care of." So she was like, "You gonna drive around with no with no brake lights?" I don't have a choice. So get out, basically drive home, no brake lights. And of course, she like, "Girl, take me home." She don't want no parts. Basically, take her to her mama house. She don't want no parts. She don't want to be in the car. Which I don't blame her because she had been in quite a few car accidents, and so you traumatized. So I get it. So took her to her mama house. Took her to her mama house, went home, and I was like, "I gotta come." So I called my mama, and this particular time she was at work, and so she was like, "What's wrong with the car?" She is been so used to me calling her, and so I was like, I was like, I changed the light bulb because the light bulb in the brake light, in the tail light wasn't working. Changed the light bulb was fine. I said a couple of minutes later, I could smell something burning, lights went out. There's no brake lights in the back. There's no tail lights, no brake lights, no nothing. None of the lights in the back is working. She said, oh my Lord. She said, oh my Lord. And she was like, so what you gonna do, Angel? And I was like, I'm gonna go to AutoZone and see like what they can tell me. So she was like, okay, keep me posted. So when I go, like I took the morning off. No, I went to work. I went to work because I needed my money. Went to work and I went to after work. I went to AutoZone and I was like, this is like I just need the light bulb change. That's what I was trying to pimp. And I was like, but I was like, I changed the light bulb, but none of it's working. So he was like, oh, I think you might have blew a fuse or something. And I was like, how did I blow a fuse? He was like, well, what happened? And I was like, I took it out, made sure like, the negative and positive stuff match. And I put it in there and I said, and it was fine. And I said, and all of a sudden it, like it started smoking or it started smelling like it was burning there. All the tail lights and brake lights went out. And he was like, I'm not even gonna, I'm not even gonna front with you. He's like, you probably did everything right. He said, but I can tell you what the issue is because this is a Saturn. They probably want their specific lights that they have in this car. So because he was like, where you bought the light from? Like AutoZone, like out from us or whatever. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that's probably the issue. That's probably the issue because it's not their lights. It's not something that they put in. It probably blew a fuse or did something to it. And he was like, I'm not even saying, he was like, I promise you. So, because when he took it out, he was like, you put it in right. He's like, I'm looking at the fuse and everything. He was like, and a lot of women don't know that. He was like, who taught you that? And I was like, my mom and my granddaddy. Like, they make sure, like, I know simple stuff that I can fix. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, oh, okay. So he was like, yeah. He's like, you did everything right. He was like, but he was like, since this light didn't come from Saturn, that's your issue. So I was like, okay, thank you. So I called car salesman and I was like, hey, I changed my light bulb in the back, in the back of in my tail light. And I said, and it was fine. And then a couple of minutes later, he was like, you started smelling something burning. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you have to use Saturn lights. I said, so I would have to drive 2 hours just to get my tail just to get the bulb changed. Like I couldn't buy the bulb out of the auto store. He said no. He's like, I wish you would have said that. He was like, let me see what I can figure out. Let me see what I can figure out. Because he was like, I don't know with you changing it. I don't know if this is gonna be covered under warranty. And so he was like, you're gonna have to come down here. When's the next time you can come down here? And I was like, well, what's your next Saturday? And I was like, and make it early morning because I need to get this done. And I was like, because there's no lights in the back of my car. He's like, the whole car? I was like, the whole car. He was like, yeah, yeah. He's like, remember, I told you we do stuff specifically because we want you to come to us. We don't want you to go nowhere else. So he was like, Saturn's cars are wired specifically for Saturn products. So made an appointment for Saturday, got down there, and as I'm driving down there, everybody is freaking out. Oh, that's dangerous. Oh no, I don't want to ride with you. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're going to do. You need to have it towed. One of the leaders, bootlickers, gifted, everybody, you need to have it towed. And I was like, it's so crazy how I'm in the church with all these people who always preach have faith and trust God and all this stuff. And when it's a situation for me to trust God and have faith, none of y'all must have it. Ain't that crazy? I was like, forget all that. Because to get a tow, that was going to be close to $1,000. Who about to pay $1,000? No. What we about to do, we about to get in this car. I'm about to order this car down and I'm about to pray. That's literally what I did. So my mom was like, be careful. And so I was like, God, you know what's going on with my car. You know, I don't have no, no traffic lights in the back. I don't have no lights in the back. Please, no accidents. Please, I've been praying for a long time. Talking to God for a long time. No accidents, no none of that. Let these people know. Let these people pay attention. Anybody come behind me, let them pay attention. So, and then when I get down there, like, please make it where I don't have to pay for these lights. Make them figure out something, because, yeah. So, I get in my car, and so as I'm driving, like I'm driving and slow, and I'm taking my time to get down there. It might get me, it might take me a little more time to get down there, but I'm taking my time because I want people, you know what I'm saying, when I'm coming up to a red light, when I'm slowing down, or you know what I'm saying, if I have to hit my brakes and I'm driving in the slow lane. Usually I'm a speed demon, but I'm driving in the slow lane now. So it's like, because I need these people to pay attention. Y'all, because nobody else was there with me to witness it. As I'm looking in the rearview mirror, even when I got inside of Tallahasse, there's literally nobody behind me most of the way. Most of the way, nobody is behind me. So when I'm coming up to a red light, there's nobody behind me. There's cars in every other lane. There's nobody behind me. So that's when I tell, when people be like, girl, you, the way that you talk about God, you believe in God? Yes, baby. I just don't believe in God how you believe in God. I don't be putting people in categories and be judging people and making people feel like they beneath you or whatever. I know who I am. I know who I serve, and I don't judge people because we all human in this piece. But I watch how God delivered and made moves for me. You feel me? Yeah, so when people be trying to act like you better, because you married or because you save, and when people be trying to drag themselves down and make them feel like, oh, I don't make so many mistakes, I'm not worthy. That's not how God operates. How is it that you preaching God is love and then you over here hating and being cruel and mean to people? Like, what God y'all really serving? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I'm literally looking at that, and while I'm looking at that, like I'm crying before I get to stand up, because it's like, God, you heard me. There's nobody behind me, no accidents, no nothing. There's nobody behind me. So I pull in the Saturn. When I pull in the Saturn, car salesman he looked at the bag, looked at it, and he was like, I don't know how I'm gonna flip this for them to cover it under warranty, because literally I had just got over 100,000 miles too. He was like, I don't know how I'm gonna flip this. I don't know how I'm gonna flip this. And I was like, tell him it was a fuse. And so he was like, even still, I was like, tell him it was a fuse. And I was like, and tell him like I ain't do nothing with the lights. And so he was like, I was like, or tell them I went somewhere else and they did something with the lights. Just tell him I ain't had no port. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna figure this thing out one way or another, because I know I'm not paying a lot of money. And so he was like, well, they decided, once he went back, he was like, well, they decided, like, because it's the electric wiring and it's a lot of stuff that needs to be done to get all the lights back working. He was like, so they did decide that, they're going to put it in the warranty because you just, like, literally, like, just made it. He was like, just made it. Because it's something in the clause, he said, where it's like an extra 50,000 miles if it's electric and something or something another, like, or whatever. He's like, but it's gonna be covered. He's like, but the catch is the job is gonna take 4 hours. I was like, that's fine. That's fine. I'll sit here, I'll do whatever. And he was like, well, don't worry. He's like, I'll get you lunch or whatever. Like, you cool. Like, he's like, and then it's time you come hang out in my office. And which he did. When it was time for lunch, he was like, you and your son can come in my office. He even gave my son, but we lost this in storage. We used to have, like, my ex-boyfriend, Justin's dad, he used to switch out cars. And he used to have the Nissan sports car. Let me see, what was the name of that thing? I think it was called like the 350Z. Yep. It wasn't the 2-door Altima. It was the Nissan 350Z. The Nissan had did a sports car. And so he had that. And so the dude had like a model version of it. And it was yellow on the top. And it was like this brownish color on the bottom. And it was sitting on the stand. It was literally like a model type situation. And Ty kept reaching for it. And so he was like, you can't have it. You can't have it. He's like, but I'm going to give it to your mom. And your mom can hold it for you when you get old. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you keep it and you take care of it. He literally gave Ty like the model car. Lost it in storage. I had it literally all this time. Lost it in storage. So I was like, literally, like he had called us in. He did lunch. We sat there when the job was over. He was like, "Here go your keys," and I was like, "Thank you so much, thank you so much." He was like, "You welcome." He was like, "You need anything else? Just let me know." I said, "This is probably gonna be the last time I see you because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna talk my mom into getting rid of this car." He was like, "I understand, I understand," and so I was like, "Well, thank you so much for everything." Because literally, like, we had built a rapport because I was there, seemed like almost every 2 months because it was the check engine light. It was something, it was something, it was something. So, anyway, so I'm driving back. And while I'm driving back, gifted everybody calling. Now y'all calling like, "Girl, you made it. You made it." Yeah, I did. Like, again, y'all go to church every Sunday and talk about how amazing this God is. And then nobody wanted to ride down with me and take a chance to believe that God was gonna protect me, which was interesting to me. But I get it also because it was like the back of the car literally had no lights. There was no lights on that car. So anyway, so I told my mom, I was like, everything's done, everything's fixed. She was like, "So you want another car?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." So she was like, "The next time that you come home, we'll trade the car in." So we went home, went to Nissan, went to the Nissan place. I listened to her. I was like, "You pick the place." You pick the place. We went to the Nissan place because she had built a rapport because she had just got her another car. At this point in time, she just got her a Nissan Sentra. Her Nissan Sentra was like a pinkish color. So she got her Nissan Sentra. And I was like, "Oh." And so when they was doing like the trading stuff, it had so much upside down value on it because Saturns didn't hold value because they were exclusive. So if you trying to go somewhere else, it would only hold value at Saturn. So it was so much upside down on it. It was like I couldn't get like the cars that I want. And so they was like, you could get a Sentra too. And I was like, "I don't want no Sentra. I wanted a sedan." I was like, I just got out of a little car. Well, I'm going back to a little car. But at this point in time, like tires a little bigger or whatever. And so I was like, ugh. So I'm walking around. So he was like, I can tell like you like a sportish look or whatever. So he was like, "What about this Sentra?" He was like, "We can do this one." And the Sentra was like my mama's, but it was a little different. But it had like the spoiler in the back, and mine had it was called I forgot what it's called. It wasn't like a special edition, but it had a little more than my mama. So it had like the electric and key fob. It had a sunroof. It had certain things in it, but it was like a little bit more body added to it. And so I was like, "Yeah, I like this one," and it was black. So I ended up getting me a black Sentra. And that is the story time of the drive to Tallahassee, child. It's gonna make sense with this next story time that's coming up. Child. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.